Our 11 Investigates team began looking into one of the state's largest meat producers last month, Schmucker Family Farms.
Our report highlighted concerns about the farms polluting Williams County waterways and bypassing permit laws. And that report caught the attention of high-ranking state officials who agreed to meet with our team in Columbus.
Lead investigator Brian Duggar, he's got the details on those meetings and the state's investigation into Schmucker Family Farms.
On September 3rd, inspectors from Columbus descended upon Eden, Ohio, in the far northwest corner of the state. It was their second visit to properties owned by Schmucker Family Farms, one of the region's largest meat producers. Last month, 11 Investigates reported that the Ohio Department of Agriculture and Environmental Protection Agency cited 16 family properties in June and July for various manure handling issues. But the large piles of manure are mostly gone.
Recently, most of them have come into compliance by their deadline. We have a couple that have not reached that deadline yet, but they are moving forward to take care of any concerns that we look at.
3 properties were originally cited for having more animals than the 999 allowed on a parcel. More than that requires a permit, a process that is underway according to the family. A permit comes with closer monitoring.
There are more requirements, more paperwork, more reporting that they have to do. Obviously, we are engaged more with those folks from a standpoint of making sure they're following the rules that are set.
Our August investigation caught the attention of state officials. The directors of the Department of Agriculture and EPA, Brian Baldridge and Ann Vogel, agreed to meet with us in Columbus. Both agency heads say they are ensuring compliance at the Schmucker properties.
While the Department of Agriculture controls like permits to install or actually permits a large feeding operation, the Ohio EPA will get involved if there is a discharge.
In our report, we highlighted the influx of about 100,000 cows into Northwest Ohio and spotlighted issues with polluted waterways. There were documented discharges from the Schmucker properties. 11 Investigates analyzed water samples of St. Joseph tributaries that were provided to us by local residents. Fish in Bear Creeks had troubling levels of E. coli. Levels above 1,000 would close a beach. Some testing points were 24 times that level.
On both September 10th and September 16th, our teams were out taking samples in Bear Creek and Fish Creek and several tributaries to those small creeks to find out exactly that. And so as soon as we have those results, we will make them publicly available and get them to you. So it will take several weeks to get those results, but we want to know exactly what's in the water as well.
But we also identified notable land management trends in extreme Northwest Ohio. Auditor records that we reviewed show a large number of parcel splits involving the Schmuckers and their partners beginning in early 2023.
I have a decent sized family, and there's talks of dividing up some of our farms and so forth as we go to the next generation. So for whatever reason that occurs.
However, splitting a parcel can also allow a farmer to build barns on each property and have fewer than 1,000 animals in those barns, avoiding a permit requirement. 11 Investigates previously discovered an email from another ODA official. In that email, the official, in discussing the Schmuckers, says the splitting is a loophole. The email reads, "We have to find a way to close this loophole. It is a problem."
It's troubling.
Environmentalist Sandy Benn says she has no doubt that a game is being played with Northwest Ohio's waterways.
I want a CAFO permit for the whole operation, consolidate all the parcels and let it be as it is, and let them be able to inspect and investigate and make sure there's no runoff. That would be at least a responsible action for the state of Ohio to take. Anything less is not.
Multiple times during our Columbus interviews, we are told that state investigations start with a citizen's complaint.
We are a complaint-based program.
Maybe folks don't like that this is a complaint-driven process.
Ben and a Williams County group provided investigators photos, water testing, and other information about the 16 properties. However, the family owns many other properties.
It's really upsetting that they didn't go and investigate the rest of them. Just because we only picked some of them, there are many, many more that were doing the same thing. So are these 16 fixed and the majority left unless we see something and can drive a complaint?
But Baldridge and Vogel say their work is not done.
What we want to see is the problem fixed. The problem fixed swiftly, quickly, so that we don't have a larger concern.
And the governor's asked us to stay on top of this, to make sure that we're verifying compliance. This is not just a matter of us taking their word for it. We're going to be out there, we're going to be making sure that they're in compliance.
Now, I talked to Michael Schmucker, the spokesman for Schmucker Family Farms. He is expecting 3 properties, including his own, to receive permits to become essentially mega farms before their December deadline. Michael Schmucker, however, has already missed one ODA deadline to fix his farm's manure issues. He was fined $10,000 for missing that September 1st deadline. But he told me he will not appeal and he'll pay the fine. And he says his family is working closely with the state agencies. So the next big chapter in this story is the results from that water testing. That will tell us if these waterways continue to be polluted, likely by these animal operations. So we'll let you know. Reporting in studio, this is Brian Duggar for 11 Investigates.